Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this brand new day. Hokey smokes. Indeed, it is a good day to be metabolizing because, well, frankly, any day that you metabolize is good. It is good to metabolize as an organic, carbon-based being. Thumbs up on that. It is raining and dark outside, of course. I mean, it's not dark. I've gone outside. It looks really dark from my window here because I got lights on, but I go outside. It's morning time. It's not that dark. But it's raining. And last night when I went walkies, while it wasn't raining, it was in spots around town, literally freezing. There were places where the mud puddles were just covered up entirely with sheets of ice. I had to walk next to the railroad tracks because the grass on the tracks was so slick. I couldn't walk on it. I was just going to fall on my face. So it was cold. Thumbs up on that. And of course, to front load the video, thank you, YouTube. If you could toss me a like if you like what you see in here, that'd be awesome. If you could leave me a comment, definitely appreciated. Thumbs up on that. If you could subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, that too would be greatly appreciated. And of course, I do want to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These beautiful and awesome people literally are beautiful and awesome. They help to keep me alive. I am disabled. I cannot work. My limited income through disability barely covers my rent, leaving me next to nothing to survive on. These beautiful and awesome people literally keep me fed, my pets fed. It's good. Thank you so much, each and every one of these people. It is awesome. If you could become a patron, that'd be awesome as well. There are links in the show more video description, wherever that happens to be. I don't know what device you're watching this on, so thumbs up for that. Yay, front loading of videos. But yeah, it was freezing and cold, and I like that kind of weather. I mean, I hate being cold, but I think and function better when I'm cold. And when I'm warm, I am slower and low gear, and I don't think as well. And when I'm cold, I'm miserable. But my head is just pumping along, and my body is like going, yeah, let's go exercise now. So, don't like it, but I probably would function well in a place like, the Antarctic. In one of those scientific places where you're trapped inside when the temperature outside goes to, well, I can't remember how low it was. I watched this one video where this one person was working in a place like that. It was condition 1. You do not go outside. It was like minus 100 Celsius, something like that. Crazy. The person showed the door, an airlock room that goes outside. Normally there is carpeting and you can see the wall, but it was just ice. And when they opened up the door, oh my God, it was a storm out there. Terrifying. Thumbs up for that. Yay. But yeah, went for walkies, and I enjoy going out for walkies when it's cold. I wore an extra t-shirt over the top of my normal shirt, so I had an undershirt, outer shirt, undershirt, and then I put on the flannel coat. Well, I use it as a coat, the new flannel shirt that I bought, and I put that on, and I was warm. It was great. I mean, I was still cold in spots. My hands always are cold. My face gets cold, and it's cold to breathe the air. But shucks darn, it's just nice to be that cold. But it's good. And there's all sorts of Christmas stuff still going around outside, as well as, homeless people sleeping in doorways and out walking. I've mentioned this before. Aside from the fact that I'm not wearing warm weather clothing, I mean, I damn near fit in with, you couldn't hardly tell that I had a home when I'm out walking. I mean, all my clothes, my jeans are shabby looking because I can't buy new ones. I can't afford to buy new ones. I got to make everything last. All my shirts are shabby looking. My shoes have duct tape on them, and I got a backpack, and I'm wearing lots of layered stuff. Yay! So, thumbs up. Still though, like I say, I'm different that way. I don't wear a lot of stuff to keep me covered because I overheat quickly, whereas one of the big things you got to take care of, especially if you've got to sleep in doorways on a cold sidewalk, is you got to wear warm stuff to stay warm. Whew, it's bad. Thumbs up. As to a quick aside, this is kind of funny. Way back, early in my career on YouTube here, when I lived in my brother-in-law's place before my house got taken by the bank, largely illegally, but we'll talk about that another day because there's nothing I can do about it. Just, you scream into the void. But I was doing all sorts of weird stuff gaming-wise, and one of the things I did is a game called Sakura Dungeon. Now, Sakura games are they're kind of just basically hentai games, an excuse to show, young women wearing as little as possible or nothing at all, and very compromising positions, and the games just put a rough game around this one. Well, it's actually kind of amusing as a game. I mean, it's an actual, you're going through dungeons, so you're mapping dungeons, you're fighting creatures, and I edited out the worst parts of everything, but did that for a while, and then stopped because I can't even remember why. It was probably YouTube copyright issues, I think. But now 2 of those videos, up for 6-7 years and so, age restricted now. Oops. Like I say though, I talked about this on Twitter. It's not like it's definitely understandable. The further along you get in the game, all the characters you come across, the people in your party, all the monsters, they're all just, young women in various states of dress or undress. As you fight, you're damaging their clothing, so their clothing falls off. And when you defeated them, they're in a very, very lurid and compromising position. So, again, there's reasons that it's age restricted. But thumbs up. At least it's not a strike or anything like that. They're just changing who can see your video and if anybody can ever find it in any way, shape, or form. Thumbs up for that. I gotta say, it's a fun, silly game if you ignore all the I don't want to use the YouTube terms, but if you ignore all of the fun time stuff, that it's actually got an actual game to it, and that part's good. Not really enough to hold your attention. I mean, I stopped playing it years ago. I just thought it was funny. Yes. There are some things about game stuff, of course, that I'm going to talk about now, because I have been playing the game Proteus, because I have Game Pass for the Xbox. I do understand, and I've said this before, that I could stop paying for any entertainment at all to just ensure that I am eating or doing these things and such. And problem is, though, if you strip out anything out of your life that you enjoy, so that you're not doing anything that is the core of your enjoyment that you've had throughout your entire life, just so that you can survive, what are you surviving for? If you're surviving while doing without all the things that make surviving worth living, why are you bothering to survive? So I am making a conscious decision to eat a little less so that I can keep my mind entertained. With my ADHD and all of the stuff that I've got, I have used video gaming from the very time that I was young and playing in arcades, and we got an Atari VCS cartridge system to up to now. Gaming, electronic games, and computers and all that, it's my life. You take this away, I don't have anything. So I eat a little less so I can have things like electronic entertainment, so I've got a reason to hang on. But point being, if I can remember what the point was, yes, the game Proteus I've been playing. And one of the things about a lot of games that people like and don't like, one of the things that really bugs people in video gaming is backtracking. And I fully understand. If you're going to make it linear, make it linear. If you're going to make it open world, put it so that people can go everywhere. If you make it so that you've got to take a particular path and then you have to run your way back, it's largely boring unless you can do exciting things. One of the things that the game Proteus is really good at, and it's early access, but it's awesome. I LP'd it for the channel here not that long ago. The levels are largely linear, although you can figure out how to do stuff to get around parts of it, but they backtrack everywhere, and it is so good because they know how to do it right, change it up so that it's not just the same thing. You're not passing through areas that you've already cleared out and it's just time and area to go through. No, things change as you do stuff. There are physical digital changes to the game world as you're doing things, and when you're coming back, new things have opened up. There's different places you can see things that you can do, and it really works. It's quite awesome, which ties into the second half. I really like more of a linear thing with actual stuff, whereas most games today seem to be, you go through a corridor to get to the big arena, and when you're done with the arena, you go on to the next corridor until you get to the next arena. That's like the Doom games and a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm not really big on that. I mean, it's exciting, but I like more set pieces. Such is life. Really quickly, though, in the few moments that I have left on this one, I wanted to do some creative world building talk that I was thinking of on the whole inside Razor's Edge outside stuff last night while I was out walking. Some of the stuff is stuff I have thought about. Some of the stuff is stuff that I have been trying to think on. One of the things that I have tried to mention before and tried to bring up is I have worked forth the King in Crimson as a speech sort of thing, because they, as a being of power, and they're kind of like the Speleodoncus that Speleodoncus Ray does, is that, I'm going to paraphrase it, say it partly as they would, partly as I do, because, hey, but it's, they just don't really know their origins, because they weren't really born. They are a powerful being. That means they were a singular thing. There is nothing else like them in this part of the universe. Now, if you're born, that implies parents, and if you have parents, then that implies a previous generation, but they're singular. There is no one else, and has been no one else in this area like them. So they weren't exactly born, but they are an organic, carbon-based being, and even though they don't know how long they're going to live, they do know they have a physical beginning, a middle, and an end. How long that's going to be? No clue. They watched civilizations, human civilizations, a lot of civilizations rise and fall before they stepped up out of, their prepubescent form into their mature form. Except as a singular being, they don't have a prepubescent form. There's no other being out there for them. But they know they had a beginning. As stated, they know they weren't exactly born. They don't have any clear ideas how things happen, because there's just impressions and memories that go back far enough, they fade out. But they watched and learned and just brought in everything all that time while human civilizations were rising and falling around them as they internalized the lessons learned. So how old is the King in Crimson? Even they don't know. But the current incarnation of the Crimson Kingdom goes by the Common Era 1200. The city has been a city, and the king has been the king for the last 1,200 years before they figured it was big enough to be called a city. And before that, how long did they work? Well, they were still conscious. It took a long time. A very long time. So how old is the king? No idea. The city itself, the Crimson Kingdom, which is more of a city-nation, not a city-state, because it's got the 4 boroughs and then the central district, the northern borough, southern borough, eastern borough, and western borough. These boroughs, each of them, house between 3 to 4 million citizens. The central district, less than 1 million, but it's pretty dense, and it's a very political area. And then, of course, scattered outward, because the whole idea behind the Crimson Kingdom's expansion is the stranger is a gate at a problem, so you make them no stranger, you make them family. And so the influence is very far, very wide. It's a big place, and they're doing their best to keep it decentralized and standing up and working so that it'll continue to be there after their own passing. They don't know how they're going to pass. They don't know when. but they are an organic being. They require sustenance and rest. So there will be an end one day, but just like their origins are shrouded in mystery, their ending is shrouded in just as much mystery. They have no one to look to know what's going to happen. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab, but I'm going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments. There's always less than 25 these days, but anything more than 0 is awesome. Thank you. And especially thank you if you have watched this far. It is greatly appreciated, trust me. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. I'm an American English speaker, and even though I count in American Sign Language on the fingers of this hand with my depression, fibro, and oy vey, I just have not been sleeping well. Depression tears your sleep apart, and with my depression and my seasonal affective disorder and a whole bunch of stuff all running together, my sleep is awful. Oy vey. But let me call up my Chrome, and we have Rosemary Walton, thumbs up and thank you. And Regan Busby, greatly appreciated. Emily XO, well, always thank you. Travis Frost, greatly appreciated. Noah Gray, that is a very good take, and thumbs up, thank you. We have Woody, thumbs up. There's Ian, greatly appreciated. Tobias Vicher, thumbs up and thank you. And we have Luis Santiago, greatly appreciated. Ben B, are you the Ben B on Twitter? I thought of asking, but then I got embarrassed. And then there's Sin, SYNN, and I hope to very soon. Thumbs up and thank you. Og, OGGE, thumbs up and thank you. Crazy Waiter 64, thumbs up. Thank you all so very much. In the last 24 hours, that many people left me comments. Greatly appreciated. Each and every one of you. Get me out of my head and into the world and dealing with real people. And thumbs up, it is appreciated. Excuse me. I don't know what device you're watching this on, so I don't know where the show more is, but inside I have links to all of my other channels. The gaming channel that I'm just not sure what to do with yet, and so it's still sitting in limbo. My creative disturbing channel, my reaction channel, there's all those. You can check those out. I also have links to things like my Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and again, I would like to thank each and every one of these Patreon patrons. Literally, I mean it. They help to keep me alive, and they keep my pets alive, and that is a good thing. My cat can't thank you, my hamster can't thank you, but I can thank you for them. So thumbs up and thank you all. It is greatly appreciated. Definitely a thumbs up on that. If you'd like to help me out without becoming a patron, I have an Amazon wishlist link. And if you'd like to help me, well, yeah, an Amazon wishlist thing. Yeah, with things like cat food and hamster bedding, because I forgot to mention the PayPal, where I'm not above grubbing for your spare change, because when you got next to nothing, anything helps. Now, do not feel obligated. I do not feel entitled. And if you cannot, or you simply do not donate, I take all good wishes and I deposit them in the bank of my heart, where I draw interest. So thank you very much. And of course, if you could toss me a like, I remember now, that would be very awesome. Thank you. And if you could hit the notification bell on the subscription button, that'd be very cool too. Definitely a thumbs up on that. Well, hokey smokes. I guess in the U.S. here, it's some kind of at least federal/bank holiday. So even though I need to make some phone calls, there are some of the places I need to call are just flat closed today. So thumbs up for that. But please seek creativity, positivity, and balance in your life. These are good foundations. They are not the only foundations, and you need to build on those foundations, but they are a good foundation. Thumbs up for that. And of course, with the Covfefe bug a ragin', please, if you don't have to go out amongst others, please don't. If you do, wear a mask, wash your hands, try not to touch your face, maintain your social distancing, get a vax if you haven't, get a booster if it's available. Don't become a statistic, someone who thought, hey, it isn't going to hurt, and then you're in the obits. Yes, the chances of that are actually small. But your chances of having a lifelong debilitating thing from this are huge. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. And quite frankly, that is a very good thing.